Some claim that you'd have to be the greatest to have your name echoed by the F1 legends, or like gods that supervise the F1 universe. But why is it that all they speak about is Max Verstappen? Max Verstappen, a young lad who emerged from the shadows, defeated 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and indelibly etched his mark in the sands of time as the 2021 world champion. But this whiz kid didn't stop there. He's now aiming to win his second title and gunning for Lewis Hamilton's record. And this has the legends chanting his name even louder. Want to know what these legendary figures think of him? Let's find out, starting with Alain Prost. Alain was right about Max Verstappen's impending development. Thus, Lewis Hamilton should start planning his retirement party now because the 2022 season is validating Alain's comments. Prost, a 4-time Formula 1 champion, feels the 2021 title holder will return a better skilled pilot, which he now is, having endured the physical and emotional rigors of capturing a driver's title. It's a huge statement if an F1 driver can impress Prost. What else is there to say when Prost describes your performance as perfect? Prost said he had a wonderful season. Prost's view on Verstappen has shifted throughout the season. At 18 years and 228 days, Verstappen, a second-generation driver, was F1's youngest race winner. Prost first believed Max had top-line potential, but he wasn't sure about Verstappen's temperament. Could he keep his emotions in check and make the correct decision at the appropriate time? Could Verstappen beat seasoned racers in the mental game? These were only a handful of the queries posed by Prost. Last season, Verstappen responded. He demonstrated that he could withstand championship drive, pressure, and trials anyone was willing to throw at him. He was eager to achieve the pinnacle, Prost stated. He's only getting better now. I remember when he first started in F1, we would frequently comment, he has the speed, he has everything, but he maybe does a bit too much and makes mistakes as a result. Verstappen hardly made an on-track error last year, and he looks to be aiming for the top this season as well. And honestly, we're all here to witness his potential greatness. Nico Rosberg praised Max Verstappen's victory in the Imola sprint race as relentless when he overtook Charles Leclerc. Verstappen started the 21-lap race from pole position, but his poor getaway allowed Leclerc to seize the lead into turn 1. The Red Bull driver, on the other hand, kept within touching distance of his Ferrari opponent and drew closer when Leclerc began to experience tire graining. Verstappen got into drag reduction system range only 2 circuits before the checkered flag to pull off what Rosberg called a great maneuver for the victory. In response to the circumstances, Rosberg praised the reigning world champion. He said to Sky Sports F1, "Verstappen was usual, very persistent. He's one of those men you don't want to see in your rearview mirror growing bigger and bigger, because you just know that man is going to assault, giving it his all." That's what he did again, this time with a great move. To be honest, I'm enjoying the sprint races. It was a lot of fun to see and there was a lot of action, so I'm all for it. While Verstappen won the sprint, Rosberg anticipated another close race between Red Bull and Ferrari in the Grand Prix. I still believe Ferrari has the fastest vehicle out there, even if Red Bull has come considerably closer with their improvements, the 2016 F1 champion remarked. We know they've reduced the car's weight, lowered the center of gravity, and placed those aerodynamic enhancements on the floor to look better. But if we move away from the soft tire used by Verstappen and Leclerc in the sprint, I believe Ferrari will still have an edge. Sir Jackie Stewart, the British racing veteran, feels the Formula 1 finale at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was not contentious, was handled appropriately by the FIA. Red Bull's Max Verstappen won his first world title under dramatic and contentious circumstances in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix after he and title challenger Lewis Hamilton were locked on points heading into the season finale at the Yas Marina circuit. On the penultimate lap, the Dutchman overcame the 7-time world champion who had controlled for much of the race as a late safety car and tyre change shifted momentum in his favour. The 24-year-old made a move on the Brit early in the lap and held on to win his maiden title. Mercedes' rage was directed mostly at FIA race director Michael Massey, who first opted not to allow cars to unlap themselves, only to alter his mind to build up the last lap clash between Hamilton and Verstappen. It was an exciting season finale, but the contentious finish has caused many fans to assume it was staged or phony. Häkkinen was delighted by Verstappen's performance at the Hungaroring. Max's triumph was particularly amazing considering he had to start 10th and push his way through traffic, the Finn wrote in his Unibet blog, while talking about how the young Dutchman has grown over the years. In some ways, a victory demonstrates Max's confidence in himself and the car. Even when they encounter obstacles, they don't panic, instead focusing on recovering swiftly. Before Verstappen won in Hungary, the race was led by numerous different drivers. Hakkinen feels that this demonstrates the success of the new technical restrictions introduced in the sport for 2022. He added, "This was again another race that demonstrated how competitive Formula One is at the moment. Of course, Max Verstappen has the fastest, most consistent vehicle, but the broader picture was that George Russell, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton all led at some stage, and the way the cars can follow one another, owing to the 2022 regulations, is extremely encouraging." Felipe Massa has lauded Max Verstappen's progress during his title-winning 2021 campaign. After winning the Hungarian Grand Prix, the reigning world champion now has an 80-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. The Red Bull driver's efforts were enhanced by his starting position of 10th on the grid. In an interview, ex-Sauber, Ferrari and Williams driver Massa stated that Verstappen was performing at a better level than in his championship-winning season. "I'm quite impressed," Massa said to Sky Sports. "I was already pleased with him last year, but he had several races where he had bouts with Lewis and made a few mistakes. But this year, he is simply outstanding. When the final few qualifying is compared, he is a second quicker than Perez. Max is simply displaying there is no other driver who performs as well as he does." Verstappen's championship lead has been partially boosted by recent setbacks for Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's only won one of the previous 10 races, having been marred by technical difficulties, grid penalties, blunders, and poor strategic decisions. Despite Ferrari's difficulties, Massa was eager to promote Red Bull's vehicle performance and team organization. He added, "Working within the team is putting these brilliant concepts into action, so everything is falling into place for the team and Verstappen to win the second title. The team also deserves it since their vehicle is quite competitive. It is not only faster, but also the best vehicle in terms of tire management during the race." Former Formula One driver Eddie Irvine recently stated that he feels current world champion Max Verstappen's speed is unrivaled. The Irishman, on the other hand, feels that Verstappen's aggressiveness causes him to make mistakes and, as a result, injuring himself in the championship. Irvine contrasted Verstappen's racing style to that of current title leader Charles Leclerc, as reported by F1i.com, saying, "I don't believe anyone is faster than Verstappen, but he still makes a lot of mistakes. That is not something Leclerc does." Irvine stressed that the Dutchman has a propensity to let his rage get the best of him, which shows in his driving style. "Having such an incident in qualifying is normally not that significant," he remarked, claiming that it nearly made Leclerc appear to be the more mature driver of the two. Verstappen made the mistake of allowing himself to be carried away with his aggression. Leclerc is extremely clever, has a distinct personality and is mature. Verstappen appears to be cognitively a bit younger to me in that manner, but he has a lot of skill. There is no question that Max Verstappen is a champion that everyone adores, so the major question is whether he would be a one-hit wonder or whether he will learn from the opinions of legends and become a legend himself. What are your thoughts? Comment below.